Hi there, it's Rob from On-Stage Lighting. Welcome to another of our AutoCAD for Theatre video tutorials. In this tutorial we're going to basically start drawing. So far we've managed to set up our workspace so that we can have all the tools there, and we've worked out also how to navigate and work our way around the drawing, but we haven't really actually drawn anything for real yet. When we start drawing we're going to do some quite simple things. The first thing we're going to be able to do by the end of this video is to be able to draw a rectangle to a specified size. And then we're also going to be able to draw a circle to a particular size as well. It's quite simple stuff, but it's key to understanding how to input the data when creating your drawing objects. So going over to AutoCAD then, I've got a blank space here. If you remember, we're in model space. My current model space's limits are set quite small. They're set to a couple of meters either way. And so what we're going to do in this thing is we're going to find out a few different ways of drawing. In the last video we did look at a quick way of drawing a rectangle. If you remember, we went over to our toolsets, drafting toolsets, clicked on the rectangle icon, click, let go, move the mouse to your next point, click again. That's brilliant, that's drawn us a nice little rectangle. The only thing is we didn't really have a lot of control when we drew that over the size of it. And when you're working in CAD, if you remember, it's mostly about accuracy and about putting the right things in the right place and exactly the right size. So we need more control over how we draw our rectangle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this rectangle. If you remember from before, I can either click on the edge of the rectangle itself, or I can draw right round it, and then to remove it I'm just going to hit backspace. That's made it go away. Now we're going to be drawing just some very simple items, but they need to be a particular size. The first thing we're going to draw is we're going to draw a rectangle that's 1 meter by 1 meter, so basically a square. And the first way we're going to do it is we're going to use that little tool, the visual tool, where we click over here, and then we decide where we're going to put it. So I've decided that my rectangle, my square, is going to start just here on the drawing, and so in order to create its starting point, I'm just going to click. I'm now going to move around, and you can see as I move the heads-up display, which is the kind of little boxes that appear when you're drawing things in AutoCAD, says specify other corner point. Now, and then it gives you some other options as well. Now the other options we're going to ignore just for the minute. What I want to do is I'm going to give it the second point. You can see as I extend it out, the coordinates change. What I'm going to do is I'm going to type in those coordinates to make sure they actually happen. So we've already started the bottom corner point. Now I'm going to basically, because we're working in millimeters, I'm going to type 1000, which would be 1000 across, and then I'm going to hit tab, and then I'm going to type in 1000 again. What that's going to do, once I've hit enter, it's going to create the rectangle a meter by a meter. So that's a bit better. So I've now got actually a thing that's actually the right size and not just drawn randomly. I chose where I could start it, and I could choose to start it in another point of the drawing if I wanted to. So we're going to look at that the same kind of procedure now, only this time we're going to draw it without using a start point that was slightly random. We're going to have a much more specific start point. We're going to start it in this point here, which is the 0, 0 point, and we're going to do it mostly by typing. So to start off with then, I'm just on the screen, nothing selected, nothing happening. I'm going to start hitting rectangle, and you can see REC gives me rectangle. I hit enter, and then it says specify first corner point. And the first corner point I want is this point down here, which is the 0 and 0 point in world space. So I'm going to hit 0, tab, 0, and enter, and actually you can actually use it to hit, you can actually hit spacebar instead of enter. Some people prefer to do that with their left thumb. So that's basically put the bottom corner point right in here. You see it went in there at the time. Now I still have to do this top right hand corner point. This time I want to draw my rectangle in this direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just zoom out a bit so you can see what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to do minus 1000 and minus 1000 again. So it's going to give me this square. But you can see what it's done there is instead of the square being up and to the right of the universal coordinate system, what it's done is it's made it down and to the left, because I started it at the 0, 0 point, then I drew it from right to left using a minus number, and from top to bottom using a minus number. So the first one went off up and right, and the other one went down and left. Being able to use those minus coordinates is quite useful when you're trying to draw things from a specified point, but you need to extend them out in this direction. So that's quite a useful thing. The other thing I want you to do before we finish up is to have a go with the circle tool. Now I could draw my circle in the same way. I could specify the corner point, say I'm going to draw my circle here, and then I could make a radius of it and I could drag it out and draw it and everything else. I could also type it in, so I could make it a radius of 500 mil, and that will give me obviously a radius. That gives me a radius, so it gives me a diameter, a circle, a diameter of 1 meter. So you can do it like that, so have a go at that. The other thing to do is to have another go with the command line, and just to, as you're on the screen, just draw out CIR, and you'll see circle comes up. Hit enter or space with your left hand if you like, and then it says specify center point for circle. Well, I'm going to make my center point 10 mil up and 10 mil across, because it's a silly place to be, just a very slightly off that universal coordinate system. And then I can specify the radius, and my radius is going to be 150 mil. So basically it's given me a 150 millimeter radius circle slightly off center. You can't see that because I literally went up 10 mil from the 0, 0 point. If I wanted to go up 1 meter, obviously if you remember how we do it, we do circle, enter, then it says specify center point for circle. So this is going to be 1 meter up, 1000, tab, 1000, enter. And then you see it's done 1 meter by 1 meter in its start point. And then I could say, right, it's going to be 150 mil across, enter, and then we're finished. And so you can see what it's done is it's created me a circle 1 meter up, 1 meter across, centered on that point, and then the circle itself has a radius of 150 mil. Have a bit of an experiment with that. The other thing to have a go with as well is have a bit of a go with the line tool. The line tool is quite often used in AutoCAD, often particularly more so used than in other packages, particularly in Vectorworks. A lot of AutoCAD users use the line tool quite a lot, and it basically draws a line between 2 points, but you can have a go at drawing this line between 2 points. When you've come to the end of your drawing, this is actually creating a series of 4 lines that aren't really joined together, but you can't quite work out how to stop it. Now, in order to stop it, you can right-click and hit cancel, or if you want to stop anything in AutoCAD, you can mostly hit escape and it will tend to stop doing what you're trying to do. Finally, when you get fed up with all these things, you can, don't forget, you can select them and hit backspace, or you can draw a box around them and hit backspace. Anything you don't want, you can just select it up and get rid of it. Okay, hopefully that's been useful. We've started to do some drawing. I'll see you next time.